All right, today we're going to give you the owner's manual from the most amazing and, let's be honest, complicated machine you will ever own, your own body. We're about to go on a journey, from the person you see in the mirror all the way down to the tiny microscopic engines that are powering your every single move. So let's crack open the first chapter and dive right in. You know, when you look at yourself, you just see one whole person, but that's really just the cover of the book. Inside, you're this entire universe of complex systems, digestive, nervous, circulatory, all of them working together in this incredible harmony. So the big question is, how is any of this even built? How do we get from one tiny little unit to this complex, functioning person? So, to start our little tour, we're going to need a couple of guidebooks. In biology, there are two key sciences that work hand in hand to give us the full picture of who we are. Okay, so first up, you've got anatomy. Think of it like the body's blueprint. It tells us what all the parts are and where they are. But then you've got physiology, which tells us how all those parts actually work together to keep you alive and kicking. You absolutely need both. I mean, it's the difference between having a map of a city and actually knowing how to drive the car. Now, this journey inward, it's not random at all. It actually follows a super clear and logical map. It's a series of levels, each one building on the one before it, from the biggest and most complex all the way down to the very smallest. We start at the very top, with the organism level. That's you. From there, we zoom in a bit to the systems, like your nervous system. And those systems, well, they're made of organs, like the brain. And organs are made of tissues, which are made of cells. And finally, way down at the bottom, cells are made of chemicals. For this explainer, though, we're going to stop at the most fundamental unit of life. And that brings us right here, the cell. Seriously, everything you are, every single thing you do, it all starts at this level. You've got trillions of them in your body, and each one is basically a little masterpiece of engineering, a tiny, self-contained world just focused on keeping things running. Let's get a closer look, shall we? So to really get what's happening here, I don't want you to think of a cell as just some boring blob. No, I want you to imagine it's a bustling, microscopic city. A whole metropolis where every single building, every worker has a critical job to do to keep the city running. So welcome to the cell city. See all these little structures inside? They're called organelles. And you can think of each one as a specialized department in the city government. For the next few minutes, let's pretend we're city planners and see what each of these does. Okay, every city needs a border, right? Well, that's the plasma membrane. It's this flexible wall that's selectively permeable, which is just a fancy way of saying it's the city's bouncer. It checks IDs at the door. It lets in the good stuff, like nutrients and oxygen, and kicks out all the waste. It's really the first line of defense. Right at the heart of our city, we find the nucleus. This is City Hall. It's the command center running the whole show. And inside, it holds the single most important document in the entire city, the master blueprint for your entire body. Your DNA. It's got all the instructions for everything. A city can't run without power, can it? That's where the mitochondria come in. These are the power plants. They take fuel, like glucose from your food, and they convert it into a molecule called ATP. Think of ATP as the city's electricity. It's the energy currency that powers every single activity in the cell. Next to City Hall, we've got the city's industrial zone, the endoplasmic reticulum, or just the ER. And there are two types. The rough ER is covered in these tiny workers called ribosomes, making it the city's main protein factory. The smooth ER, well, it's more like a utility plant, making essential lipids and helping with metabolism. So once the factories in the ER make all their stuff, where does it go? Well, it gets sent here, to the Golgi apparatus. This is the city's central post office, or maybe it's Amazon fulfillment center. It gets proteins and lipids, tweaks them, sorts them, and packages them up for shipping either inside the cell or out to the rest of the body. Every city makes trash, and our cell city is no different. The cleanup crew? That's the lysosomes. These guys are the waste management and recycling centers. They've got these powerful enzymes such as chew up old parts and debris. They're actually so powerful, they're sometimes called suicidal bags, because if one were to burst, it could literally digest the entire cell from the inside out. Okay, so we've just toured the microscopic city of the cell. Pretty amazing, right? Now let's zoom back out and see how trillions of these little cities all come together to build the larger structures that make you, well, you. Now, here's something really important to get. not all cells are the same, not even close. In fact, your body has over 200 different, highly specialized types of cells. You've got nerve cells built for sending signals, muscle cells built for contracting, blood cells built for carrying oxygen. Each one is a total specialist, fine-tuned for its specific job. So what happens when all these specialized cells start grouping up? They form tissues. That's the next level up on our map. There are four main kinds: epithelial tissue for covering things, connective tissue for support, muscle for movement, and nervous tissue for communication. It's kind of like different professions forming their own neighborhoods. And the next step up from there? The organ. This is what you get when different types of tissues team up to do a really big, complex job. Take your heart, for example. It's got muscle tissue to pump, nervous tissue to time the beats, and connective tissue holding it all together, all working as one single unit. And just like that, we're full circle. A bunch of organs working together towards a common goal. That's a system. The heart, the arteries, the veins, that's your circulatory system. The brain and the nerves, that's your nervous system. All of these systems work together to keep the whole organism, you, alive and healthy. So we've seen this incredible ladder of complexity, right? From chemicals to cells, tissues, organs, systems, and then the whole organism. But why? Why is this specific order so important? What's the end game for all this amazing organization? The answer boils down to one absolutely crucial word: homeostasis. This entire unbelievably complex structure has one main job: to maintain a stable, balanced internal environment. Your body temperature, your blood sugar, your pH levels, all of it has to stay within this very, very narrow range for you to be healthy. And that's the big takeaway. Health is what happens when this magnificent order is working like it's supposed to. So when that balance, that homeostasis, gets thrown off at any level, from a tiny problem in a cell to a major system failure, well, that's when disease can start to take hold. And to really appreciate just how mind-blowing this whole process is, think about this amazing fact. Every single one of us, with our trillions of specialized cells and our complicated systems, we all started out as just one single cell, a zygote. The journey from that one cell to you is the entire story of this organization in action. So I'll leave you with this thought. You're not just one thing. You are a community, a universe of trillions of individual living cells, all cooperating in almost perfect harmony. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does it truly mean to be one single you?